Hello, everybody. Welcome to our predictions, week 2 of 46. So last week, obviously, me and Liam did our predictions. Liam got the better of me that round. He got 2 points more than me. I think you got two predictions spot on, didn't you?
Yes, I got Birmingham, Ipswich, and I think you did as well. And I also
Yes.
correctly predicted Charlton, Watford. I put 1-0, and it finished 1-0 in like the 93rd, 4th minute. So,
Yeah,
pretty happy with that.
and I mean, we didn't really differ that much from our predictions. I think I only got one extra point. I mean, I clawed 1 point back in the end. So yeah, our predictions were pretty much the same.
I'm off to a good start, and I'm happy about it.
Now, shall we move on to number 2?
Week 2, I can't wait for this.
Me too. So before we go into week 2, uh, neither of us got our player of the week predictions correct. That player of the week was Scott Twine.
Yeah, the only player to score, well, the only championship player to score 2 goals.
Yeah, Scott Twine had a very good game last week. Bit of a shock result that though, 4-1. Crazy.
Definitely didn't see that coming, especially at Bramall Lane.
Hmm. Well, have we got Sheffield United to bounce back this week? Let's get to our week 2 predictions. Okay, so let's start off with Derby versus Coventry. I will start this one off. So, Derby lost last week 3-1 to Stoke. Not a good performance in terms of Derby's point of view. Had very little enjoyment of the game, apart from that Carlton Morris goal, which was quite a good one in my opinion. Coventry, also not particularly a great one. 0-0 versus Hull. So both might feel underwhelmed going into this one. And Derby is at Pride Park, and they were decent at Pride Park last season. But Coventry, they always get good. They always get surprise points. It's a tough one to call this. It could go either way, and I personally have a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Derby very poor against Stoke. Coventry very uninspiring against Hull. Um, Coventry have the tendency to start off the season a little bit slow. Um I don't remember Derby ever starting off a season very well either. Um, though Derby are at Pride Park, I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. Coventry, apart from the Saturday just gone, Coventry are a team who like to score goals. Derby are a team who like to leak goals. Saturday proved that with some very, very dodgy defending. However, Coventry not in full swing just yet. Derby, I don't think are in big danger of folding at home, at least this early in the season. I've also gone for 1-1.
Yeah, again, another bang on prediction for us both. When are we ever going to have differing opinions?
It's a shame. It's good that we scratch off. Well, we don't scratch off if we say the same thing, because I'd be absolutely lost.
Yeah. So, Portsmouth Norwich next. Another 12:30 kickoff. Liam, shall you take the lead on that one?
Yeah, well, Pompey won away from home. Norwich lost at home, so already a weird start for both teams. Um, I think Norwich weren't outstanding, um, to say it nicely. Portsmouth, um, nothing needs to be said about their home form last season. That's sort of why they stayed up, really, wasn't it? All the home results, very rarely lost all 3 points to the opposition. I have them winning all 3 points. I have a 2-1 home win.
Obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, Portsmouth good at Fratton Park last season. Norwich, very hit and miss. They definitely have the players to beat Portsmouth, but Portsmouth also is fully capable of beating Norwich. Again, another game which I think will go either way, and sorry guys, I've predicted the exact same as Liam. 2-1 Portsmouth win.
How long before we interpret how we have to have different scores?
I know.
It depends
I
how this
know.
weekend goes.
Oh my god. Okay. Shall I take the lead on Wrexham versus West Brom?
I'm hoping we have different, differing
Oh, yeah.
opinions.
Okay. Obviously, Wrexham, off the back of a 2-1 defeat to Southampton. 2 late goals. Wrexham looked like they were going to win through Josh Windass' goal. Obviously, 2 Southampton goals happened in short time, which means they ended up with the L. But it shows how far Wrexham have gone to nearly embarrass a team the likes of Southampton. West Brom, they beat Blackburn. I think it was 1-0. And I think it was a steady performance for them. I think West Brom getting to a good start at the Hawthorns as I expected. Now with this one, it's a tough one to call again, but I just think there's something to do with Wrexham and their home form this season. I think Wrexham will be a very strong outfit at home, and to nearly get points away at Southampton, I think will solidify my point. So I've gone with a 1-0 Wrexham win.
Yeah, Wrexham very unlucky actually not to win at St Mary's or at least get a point. You know, they held out till the very late in the game, 80 something, 90 something minute. West Brom, yeah, they did the job against Blackburn. They didn't do the job in the Carabao Cup. Thought I'd get that one out there. However, Wrexham, while crumbling late on at St Mary's, I think the opposite will happen. I think they might be struggling, they might be 1-0 down until very late in the game, and West Brom do what they did in midweek, don't take their chances. Wrexham get one back, and I think Wrexham score again very late on to win in Hollywood fashion. I've gone 2-1.
So we've both predicted a Wrexham win. Hopefully we have differing opinions for the next one. Liam, can you take the lead on Blackburn v Birmingham?
Well, already I don't think we will. Blackburn, not a good performance in midweek. Granted, it was the Carabao Cup. Granted, they were against a lower league opposition in Bradford City, who, you know, wanted to impress. Blackburn, Birmingham, very much impressed on that Friday night opener at home to Ipswich. Should have won. Should have maybe scored a couple more than what they did. Yeah, Blackburn looking like a rocky start is on the horizon, and I don't have it continuing. I don't have it finishing anytime soon. I've gone for a 2-0 away victory.
So, yeah, Blackburn losing last weekend. I mean, West Brom are good at the Hawthorns. It might mean nothing, but it's a concerning start in terms of Blackburn. I think with Blackburn, they have to start fast in order to do well. Obviously, losing last week and playing Birmingham this week, that could hamper their ability of having a good season. Birmingham 1-1 against Ipswich. I think Birmingham were the better side and were quite unlucky not to win. I think it was like a late George Hurst penalty was enough to get the points, but Birmingham fans, I think, are quite rightly to be annoyed at that. Looking at this, Blackburn are at home, Ewood Park. Perhaps maybe things could swing in their favour, but I've also gone for a Birmingham 2-0 win.
Judging by your reaction, I expected that.
Yeah, so me and Liam have completely agreed for 3 of the 4 games so far. So much for variety. So Bristol City v Charlton, I will take the lead on this one. Bristol City, wow. That is brilliant performance last week against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Absolutely wiped the floor with them, as if they were nothing. 2 Scott Twine goals, an excellent performance all round. what a day for them. Charlton, a respectable win for their standards as well. They got all 3 points against Watford, scoring in the very last minute to get the points. But who cares? They got the points. They got the win. Thank you. See you later. Move on to the next week. Now, both teams will go into this motivated after their opening day win. And maybe Charlton have something in them to pull something off. But unfortunately, I think Bristol City's performance last week is too good to ignore. And the fact they're at home, I've got them to win 2-0.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really like the look of Charlton. In typical Nathan Jones fashion, they got the win against Watford. Bristol City, nothing needs to be said. Absolutely phenomenal result. You said wipe the floor with the blades. Who'd have seen that coming? Who'd have seen this coming? I've gone 2-0 Bristol City.
God. So yet another exact prediction. This is even worse than last week. I promise, guys, we don't look at each other's predictions. We both made it on independently. Just for clarification. Now, Liam, can you take the lead on Millwall v Middlesbrough?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Middlesbrough, I'm going to have to mention it. I know they were against a League One side who have just come up from League Two. I know it was the Cub, but to lose 4-0 at your own in your own back garden, I can't say that's something you should be confident about. Moving on from Millwall, brilliant win at Norwich, first for about 60 odd years. Millwall. I think they have goals in them this season, and it's not something you're really used to hearing with Millwall. Always scrappy 1-0s, 2-1s, 1-alls, 0-0s. I've gone for the complete opposite of a scrappy win. I've gone for a very comfortable 3-0 for Millwall.
Oh, that's a good. That's quite ambitious, that one. Obviously, yeah, Middlesbrough's performance in the Carabao Cup, the less we talk about, the better. Absolutely embarrassing result as far as Middlesbrough's concerned. And they need to bounce back from that, otherwise they might be in trouble. Millwall, last season, just outside, did really well at home. And I'm also going to back them 2-1 to Millwall. Now, I'm going to take the lead on Preston versus Leicester here. Preston, I think a 1-1 draw against QPR. I think that was a classic draw in my opinion. I saw that draw coming from a mile off. But Preston, they always seem to get decent results here and there, and maybe they'll be back up to mid-table. Leicester, I was quite underwhelmed by them. Even though they ended up beating Sheffield Wednesday, I was underwhelmed. I can't lie. Struggled for majority of the game, even let Sheffield Wednesday take the lead, and it had to go to a second half comeback. I think it was 2-1 in the end. Now, onto this game, I'm going for a 1-1.
Yeah, Preston. I don't think they were all too bad at QPR. And a point away at Loftus Road is never something to turn your nose up at. At Leicester, two poor performances, truth be told, in the first 4 days of the season. Obviously on Wednesday night, bowed out of the cup. On Sunday afternoon, only just scraped past a seemingly relegation-bound Sheffield Wednesday. I do have them to win again, Leicester. I just think Preston are still going under a little bit of that new era sort of phase. Obviously, with the turnover of players still getting to gel a little bit. I have a very, very narrow 0-1 away win for Leicester City.
Yeah, there we go. We've predicted something different. Yes, finally. I promise you guys, we don't look at each other's predictions. Okay. So I think it's you who takes the lead at the next one. Sheffield Wednesday v Stoke.
Yeah, well, it's the story of Sheffield Wednesday again. I believe their north stand is open for this game. I believe this game will be very stop-start. I have a feeling there'll be quite a few protests from the home supporters. Excuse me. Stoke. Do we get our hopes up? Do we say Stoke are back? Stoke will be up there. Very good performance on Saturday against an out of sorts Derby County team. I do think they showed some good signs. I do think they will score at Hillsborough. I only have them to score 1 goal, and I only have Sheffield Wednesday to score 1 goal.
So you've got it 1-1.
Indeed, I do.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, good performance at Leicester. Everyone overlooked them this season because of their financial issues. But obviously, they've still got some good Championship players in there. Obviously, Barry Bannon got red carded though, which hampers Sheffield Wednesday quite a lot. But they still have a couple of Championship quality players, which everyone seems to overlook. I overlooked it myself. I put 4-0 Leicester last week. But ended up being 2-1, which I think was very good in terms of Sheffield Wednesday's point of view, even though they ended up losing. Stoke, a very good performance against Derby, as Liam mentioned. But I think this one will also be a draw. I think Sheffield Wednesday will get something. And I've also gone for a 1-1.
I'd just like to touch on Sheffield Wednesday. I believe Barry Bannon is eligible. I think his red card was served for the cup tie at Bolton.
My apologies for the mistake. So, I think it's me who takes the lead next. Obviously, Swansea. We both predicted them to win last week. They ended up losing to Middlesbrough, 1-0. So, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting an away win. Obviously, didn't happen. Sheffield United, the less we talk about, the better. 4-1 defeat to Bristol City at home certainly won't turn heads, will it? We'll see. Both need to get back on track and fast. And Swansea are the ones at home. Obviously, Sheffield United, obviously, they've got some Premier League quality there. But obviously, they didn't show it against Bristol City, and I don't think they'll show it here. I've gone for a 2-1 Swansea win.
So I almost, just before we started this, scratched off my initial prediction, which I have stuck with, for a 2-1 Swansea win. Sheffield United are very clearly in a bit of a transition period right now. New manager in charge. Obviously, they've lost a good few players, haven't brought in all too many. I think, though, they will just about do the job. I wasn't impressed with their performance against Birmingham City. Harmer's goal, we've all seen it. Can he pull off another masterclass in Wales? I think so. I think he will be the star man in that game. I've gone for a 2-1 away victory.
Or a completely different prediction again. This is crazy. I think it's your turn to take the lead, Liam. Watford v QPR.
I don't know what to make of this one. Watford, bit of a strange start to the season, I suppose. You just don't know what Watford side will turn up. The fact that they're at home, I think they might be alright with at least getting something from this game, but QPR looking in a pretty nice position right now. I want to keep their start to the season as high as they can. At the moment, they're probably just above the middle line.
Yeah.
I think they're not going to move up too far. I've gone for another 1-1 draw for QPR.
Okay. I mean, this one is tough to call. Obviously, with this one, I'm gonna go for something crazy here. I'm gonna go for a QPR away win, 1-0. Now, the big one here of the weekend, Ipswich versus Southampton. I shall cover that one. Ipswich, I think it was a poor game for them last week. 1-1 against Birmingham. Needed a last-minute penalty to get that, and some could argue that wasn't a penalty. Southampton, sure, it was a 2-1 win versus Wrexham, but that could also be seen as underwhelming. So I feel like both need to prove their point a little bit more to be promotion contenders. Obviously, they lock horns at Portman Road, and I think this will be a high-scoring game like last time. I think it was like 4-3 Ipswich last time.
Yeah,
and I've gone
in the Championship. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, yes, in the Championship. Southampton won in the Premier League. But obviously, yes, and last time in the Championship they won 4-3. And I think it'll be an Ipswich win this time around, 3-2.
Yeah, Ipswich not good enough, really, at St Andrews. I didn't watch the game in midweek against Bromley, and they bowed out on penalties. So I can't imagine the morale is very high right now. I imagine the morale is very much high at Southampton at the moment, and for me that only swings in one direction. Southampton, one of their 2 victories in the Premier League last time out, where one of them was against Ipswich. I have that to happen again. I've gone Ipswich 1, Southampton 2.
Another different prediction. Interesting. Now, Liam, shall you take the lead on Hull City versus Oxford?
I have a feeling I know what's going to happen here. I've no idea why this is a 3 o'clock on a Sunday, but here we are. Oxford, I don't really know how they played. I can't say I had a close eye on the game against Portsmouth, but to lose 1-0 at home to a team who were known for being poor away from home last season, not a good look for Oxford. Hull yet to score as well. I think after game week 2, it's going to stay the same for both sides, both to go for a goalless opening 2 games, 0-0.
Yeah, Hull last season quite poor at home. I think they were near the bottom or at the bottom in home form last season. So Hull will need to definitely turn that around this season if they want to finish higher up the table. Oxford were always a team who would lose a stupid game and then get something from a game no one expected them to get something. Obviously, getting a lot of crucial points last season in away games. And you know what? Sorry, Hull fans, I've gone for an Oxford 2-1 win. So, yeah. Again, another different prediction. I know I shouldn't say that every time, but the first, 5 times we predicted the same. It's just I'm glad we predicted something different.
Yeah, it's not the way I thought this would go after the beginning we had. I want to say I'm going to get some bonus points here with the score of the weekend. I mentioned one team this weekend who would score 3 goals. That was Millwall. I think their striker Mihailo Ivanovic will be the scorer of the weekend for my bonus points.
So it was a difficult one for me Obviously, I had predicted quite a few 2s, 1s, but also I did say a 3. And I feel like one player who could step up to the plate is George Hurst. Obviously, scored a penalty against Birmingham. It's a penalty, sure, but his motivation will be high. He's some player once he's scoring, and I think he's going to have a good one. Suddenly becoming one of the main men. I think he will take that responsibility against Southampton quite well, and I've gone for Player of the Week of George Hurst. So those were our week 2 predictions. Are you happy with your predictions?
No, not really. I think a couple of them have gone a bit random. I do regret not scratching off that Swansea Sheffield United result. The more I think of it, the more I think Coventry will win at Pride Park. The more I think of it, the more I think Charlton could get something at Ashton Gate. But I've said my predictions, I've written them down, I can't take them away now.
Yep. So obviously I've done the same. I hope you all have enjoyed this prediction video, and we shall be back next week for the results and predictions of Matchday 3.
Can't wait.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.